files I've seen over my years, especially when it comes to real estate, not one investor they will never say no if you ask them, hey, do you need more money for your fix and flips? Is their credit low? What could you do to help their credit? It's one way to monetize, at least on that potential lead. But let's say if they are qualified, maybe if they only have 20,000, 40,000, 50,000, well, hey, what would an extra 20 to 50,000 or 100,000 help you in your bottom line to get more properties? So really, I think it's important to go back and really doing a strong intake. Find out who the client is. What do they really want? What are they? Get all the numbers and figures from them just by even just that basic application that we have. If you do one for every client, at least you have a strong profile for that person. If you're just, going back and forth with them via email, asking a couple questions, you never have their full story. It's always, and I tell a lot of my people, like, hey, fill out that application, because without the application, we don't really have a strong profile on that person, and we don't really understand what we could do to help that client. And that's one thing, like me, Chris, and David do very well, is once we actually see an application, okay, hey, maybe the guy is doing a project for new construction. Maybe they do need some extra money. Maybe they do need equipment, and that's a relationship you could build over time. But it's very important to do a very strong intake. That intake is really going to set the tone for what that client is, how they're going to interact with you, and the different types of products you could approach them with. You guys might bring me a product or a client for a fix and flip, but maybe we could get them some extra working capital. Maybe we could get them something else here. Maybe they're looking for different things. But without even just doing that application or having a strong intake, it's tough to tell. So I would say, like, for all you guys, make sure you really qualify that client, get as much information that you can from them, and not just via email. Get that application in, even if it's just a fact-finding experiment for you guys.
Well said. Thank you, Sebastian. Absolutely. And maybe they just don't qualify. And without asking the right questions, we don't know. So we could be spinning our wheels, chasing down a person who doesn't at all qualify, right? Maybe not willing to go through the dock trade. What is the point, right? So very, very important, right? And for those of you that are new, you may encounter scenarios, right? Clients love to come at you with scenarios. If I have this much money and I want this property, how much am I going to get, right? I've been in business this long and I'm doing this much cash flow a month. How much can you give me? What's the rate look like? And you get stuck and you're like, I'm not sure. What do I? That is not the way it works. We ask the questions. We have the cash. He who has the cash is king, right? That's what you got to remember. They need to go through our obstacle course, not the other way around. And it's just about positioning. So anyway, good points all around, everybody.